Hi everyone, video number 3 for making burses. So I actually already did this video and I ran out of room on my phone to store it, so I had it wiped out completely, so I'm going to start over. Here's my burse. I covered a lot of stuff too. Okay, as you can see, you open it up and you have the silver on the inside. We have our crease that we ironed in earlier. Back here we have, which you can't really see in there, all right, we have the place where we stitched down. Okay, so once I got my boards in here, I tucked this in really good. I pushed this in, and then I pressed using my iron. I pressed this seam down a little bit so it didn't pucker outward. Okay, now the other thing that I want to point out is that it is not easy to get these boards in here. You get them in, but you want to make sure that your seam allowance is on the inside, not the outside, so that there's no, this is a really flat, smooth surface. There's no puckering or anything, but you're going to have some problems like I had getting this thing in here with no puckering or catching on this board. It's going to be tough, okay? Making burses is not going to be easy or fast. There's going to be a lot of fiddling and a lot of pulling out and putting back in and doing all these different things. It's just not an easy process to get a burse put together, all right? But I have gotten my boards in here. I've gotten my sides pressed. I've got this tucked in really nice and neat, and see how flat and nice that is. Now see how my my orphrey banding ends very perfectly at the very end. This is why I do this split method that I was talking about earlier with boards that have an orphrey banding for the decoration, all right? Because that gives it a nice ending. Otherwise, what happens is this orphrey wraps around into here and either has to go all the way back to the back, or it stops somewhere in here and you got to finish it real nice. And I don't like the way that looks, so I don't do it that way. All right, everything is ready. Next to the next piddly part, right? All of this is very finicky. I mean, you got to work really hard to get it right. So tucking these under here and making it perfectly straight along the edge, which it doesn't look like it because we've got our things in here. If you saw it in person, these line up really, really nice. Okay, like that. Okay, it's not, it's hard to see in this video, but my Burse chapter, where I actually show pictures, it's very up close. It shows all of this really neatly. Another thing that you can use to help keep seams and things straight is a ruler. I like the nice, really thin plastic ones. These ones with the metal, you got to be careful because they'll catch on your fabric, but it's all I've got for today. And it comes in handy at the ends especially. See, let's see here. At the ends especially, where you get this down in there and scoot all that over. So I'm going to show you guys, since I had already started when my video conked out on me, I've got to explain this again. So I have basically started my thread, but I did it in my red, down in here, all right? And then I poked my needle up to where my thread is coming out at the very end on the red, okay? And I use this guy then to...
Mama.
Yes, sweetie?
Louie's gum is out. She's keep putting her gum out.
Okay, well, that's fine. Go on.
Does she need to stop taking it out?
Yes. Okay.
What happens if she does take it out?
It's fine. Go upstairs, please. Mom problems. Okay. So now my red is coming out of my red. There. All right. We're going to do the zigzag method where it goes across, in, okay? So basically, and this is the same method that the sisters at the House of Ephesus use for hand stitching. And it Gosh, it works so well. Okay, so I have it coming out of my red. Now I've gone across both. Let me see if I can get it to focus. See, I've got it going across both of my silvers. All right, nice little bit here. Right, and this will end up being invisible. So now I pull it. Okay, see this? All right, and I'm going to stick it in the red on the other side. Sorry. Even, very even, with where my red was coming through. So you see how my needle is going in directly right next to where it's coming out. See that? Coming out. All right. Now I'm not going to make a really long stitch. It's going to be rather short. See that? Okay. So it's going to be like that. All right. All right. Now I'm going to go across the silvers again. So, directly where my thread comes out, okay, I'm going to go straight across my silvers. Just like this. I'm going to squeeze. You see how that's coming together? You actually, you know, as this is, if I separate it here, you can see my little red threads. Let me see. My little red threads. But as I stitch it, I'm pulling it tight to close it to make a really nice closed end. And you're never going to see those red stitches. Okay? So now, where my red thread comes out of my silver, I'm tucking back in to this red. See? Small stitch. Come through. And we're going to go right where this red is. We're going to go directly across again through the silvers. And I'm just going to keep doing this over and over until I make my way across the entire burse. Now I want you to keep in mind that as we go further in, like once we get into this really like flat part, this is easier because this is open over here, right? Once we get into this flat part, it's really going to be hard for me to maneuver my needle, and it's going to get really kind of tricky. But you can do it. You can do it. It just goes over, across, making sure that each entry point and exit point line up exactly. Okay? So I'm probably going to finish this up off camera. So I've gone across. Okay, done my little stitch. Now right where my entry point is, straight across my silvers. Okay, and then into my red right where it came out of my silver. All right, so you can see already how this guy is coming together. All right, now as I go, this is gonna get tighter, so you won't so you won't be able to see these stitches. I'm sorry, it's so blurry, guys. Okay, so you won't be able to see these stitches at all. Okay, so basically that is it. That is how you put together a burse. And once you're finished, this guy will be closed in the back end and opened in the front. All right. I'll take a picture of this when it's completely finished. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, let me know in the post, and I'd be happy to answer them. So have a great day, guys. I hope this was helpful. All right, bye-bye.